I am. It's happening. Chop up. We live. Let's get it.
Anything you could do, I could do better. I can do anything better than you. 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 I can do anything better than you.
Man, this track is so freaking hard. What up? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JSpenceTheKing and Sterling for the Girls. Might have to change that name, but Sterling for the Girls is in the building with the King, and we are back for another episode of the Chop Up. And listen, I'm excited to talk this week because the Dolphins suck, the Jets suck, the Bills kind of look like we sucked a little bit too, but we don't. We're going to talk about it. So, matter of fact, Sterling, let's get right to it, dog. What's going on with you?
Man, it's good over here, man. It's good over here. We had a golf tournament today at work.
Hey.
And I'm trash. I'm trash, bro.
Oh, see, I was about to hype you up. I'm like, hey, you out there with the tiger? I see you.
Nah, dog. Nope. Nah. Just a black dude out there, you know. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, you're here!"
What was your score? Did y'all keep?
We did best ball.
Okay.
So it was a team of 4. So we shot 5 over.
Okay, it's not terrible.
I had a couple balls that were played, so I mean, it wasn't a total stinker, but golf ain't my game, bro.
No, but you know what? Golf is fun for me. I know we keep talking about me coming out there or you coming here one time to visit. Either way, we got to hit the course, whether you're here or I'm there.
Oh yeah,
what you got to do, man. Just go to the range for a bit. Just get your swing down. And then just go by yourself. Sometimes you don't got to, because if I'm gonna embarrass myself, it got to be by myself. Like, so I got to get the practice on the range or on the course for myself. You can't just start the season and go out there and be golfing with these. Like, I tell you, I'm not gonna name names because I don't want to sound like I'm trying to name drop, but I did a couple golf tournaments and stuff. And there's a couple of these NFL players who are really good, like really good. Man, my handicap, I'm not even gonna tell you, it's embarrassing. They're competitive to the point. So I'm just telling you, we're gonna prepare, give you some time to go to the range. I'm gonna go to the range. We're gonna do it. I don't want to embarrass you on because we're gonna do all of this.
Hey, I don't care. I mean, it's embarrassing, dog.
I want to do like a well, you know what? So Poncho's Army did the golf tournament a couple years ago, and but I think we should start trying to do some different things like that, like in Buffalo, like golf tournaments. They're always out here in Arizona, Colorado, Florida. I know Buffalo is a little different with the weather, but there's still a lot of year with good weather for golf. And I think if we do a golf tournament or even just something like that to bring the fans together in a different way versus it always being like the live pods now or the beer releases and all that stuff. I think I want to get into some stuff where we can actually be active and do some. I try to do a celebrity basketball game.
That. Oh, if you did that, I'd be on for that.
Well, so this is. I'm gonna just tell you now. So I actually have this in the works. I'm in talks with Kessler Center with Canisius for it to be held there. I'm trying to do like certain professional athletes from Buffalo against professional, like I don't want to call us professionals, but like podcasters and media. So like I want Sal to get out there. I want Matt to get out there. I need you to fly in and dunk on. I know we both had the knees, but I need you to dunk on some people for me.
Nah, I got you, dog.
I got you.
All
right. I'm pulling up like Curry with the, you know what I mean? I'm
okay.
We got you.
Yeah.
But let's get into it. No, enough of the silliness because I'm gonna hurt my back trying to get out there on the court with Josh and them. They gonna dunk on me. It's over. I'm gonna be out for a year. Sunday was terrible. If you're a Bills fan,
man,
what I'm sure you've spoken about it by now. What's your just where are you at with what happened this past week?
Man, it was a poor matchup from the get-go, man. Simply put, the Ravens they play with big personnel. The Bills stay predominantly in nickel, and when that happens, you have to be sound, scheme perfect when you go up against a team like that. If you're gonna have light boxes and smaller personnel in the field, and if you mess up, it's that those mess ups are accentuated. We've seen this for years, but I don't think we've seen it steamroll the effect that we've seen. We saw the Indianapolis game 3 years ago. That was, we haven't seen it. It hasn't been that bad, but Sunday it was that bad. And each level of defense, man, like I couldn't point to outside of the corners. I couldn't point to anybody who played a good game. You know what I mean? Like it was bad, dog. I don't know, man. The season is in its one game. I should have known when Vegas that spread was telling. And I just kind of ignored it, thinking, okay, the Bills will figure this out. They've been playing well. They're gonna win the game, and yeah, that didn't happen.
I do want to bring up what Daryl was saying here, my man, D Murder, D Nasty, whatever nickname we're gonna roll with today. He says missing your two starting linebackers and Taron Johnson was the difference finally. And I agree. I think I said this on Chop Up or on no, what show did I say? Hump Day. I said it on Hump Day. I think, it's one thing to go up against and this is no diss to other teams, but it's one thing to go up against the Dolphins when they're beat up too. It's one thing to go up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Do I think they're a bad team? No, but do I put them in the upper echelon of talent in the NFL?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. So it's one thing to go up against those teams with those injuries. It's another thing to go up against a contender like the Ravens and expect to be able to just kind of, just make it happen with the injuries and all this. So I think that played a huge role. For this game coming up, I think I'm most nervous about Johnson not being available, because when you watch the Ravens game, I can't think of one other player. I know we miss Matt Milano. I know we miss but I think if Taron Johnson would have played in that game, it would have been a little different. Maybe not one. I don't think he would have completely changed it to where we won. But I think he's really a glue that I don't think we recognize as the glue anymore. I think he like that Poyer
I think he
or Hyde
would have.
role.
I think he would have helped. I still think it would have happened. I mean, when you watch all 22, I mean, guys were just lined up in the wrong gap. It just the wrong from the coaching, and mostly coaching. And all was not lost, but the coaching was bad. But I'll tell you what, those kind of games is where you miss Micah and Jordan, just for their ability to play in the box and stop the run. Those are the games where you would like to have them. I'm not confident in DeMar Hamlin and Taylor Rapp in that regard yet.
Don't move on from that. DeMar Hamlin, right? So how do you feel so far? So it's been 4 games, right? How do you feel about DeMar Hamlin?
Well, I'm not a fan. I think he does his job, but that's it. Like he's out there. He's where he needs to be, but he just doesn't have much playmaking ability. I think he's a below average starter at safety. I think he lacks athleticism. So yeah, I mean, you could do a lot better than DeMar Hamlin. I mean, he's not losing you the game, but you would like to see more flash plays, more playmaking ability, those kind of things, and that's just not his game.
Man, last week, Joe tried to get me to kind of step back on a statement that I made. I love the Joe. First of all, if y'all didn't see the Hump Day hotline, please make sure y'all go and either find it on Spotify, Apple, or Apple Music and all that stuff. Go find it, and then also download this Chop Up episode for down. We appreciate the love, we need it. But Joe tried to get me to walk back on some statements that I made about DeMar Hamlin over the summer. I'm like, yo, this dude is not a starting caliber safety of the league. They're keeping him for certain reasons. And so last week when he got the interception against the Jaguars, Joe's like, all right, I'm gonna give you the floor, give you a chance. I'm like, bro, I'm not walking back shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like the dude caught and this is not hate. Let's just be honest about something.
Yeah.
He caught an overthrown pass on a player that he wasn't defending. So it was one of those things was, okay, you doing your job and you're in position, but it wasn't like you were in position like running and following this dude, and then you went up and mossed him. You made the play. That's not what DeMar Hamlin is. So let's kind of pump the brakes on that just a tad bit, just a tad.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, I mean, there's a lot of safeties that would have made that play in the NFL. There was nothing special about it. And the thing that had me dying, bro, I was literally in tears watching this dude trying to return the INT, bro. You slow as molasses, dog. For an NFL player, I can't beat him in a run, but dog, DeMar's not balling Salvador Rios. I love you, bro, but nah, son, it ain't happening, dog.
RJ say Hamlin is a replacement level player. He is also not Micah Hyde. Like he's not.
Nah.
He's not. Real quick, I'm sorry to pivot so abruptly. I just got a text, right? You've seen all the Cardi B drama with Offset and they divorcing and all that.
Oh yeah.
So I just got a text, and it's perfect because this weekend we play against the Texans. This is what it says. Cardi B cheated on her husband while pregnant with NFL wide receiver Stefon Diggs. Offset found out by going through her phone and seeing Cardi sending Stefon Diggs nudes while pregnant and telling him she can't wait to get with him again. These are facts. Now, I don't know if they're facts. This is what the tweet says. But however, I just went and looked through. It's not just this account saying it. It's widely being talked about like this. First thoughts. I'm being
First
petty.
of all, let's clap it up for my dog, Steph. yeah, you deserve one for that
Big
one.
dubs.
You deserve one. Motorsport. Hey, no, man. First of all, dog, did you see what she said about Takeoff?
Yo.
Did you see? I was like, what?
Some stuff is just low. Like,
dog.
Some stuff is low. Hold on. Okay. We got to come back to this. I'm sorry. I know we all over the place. We got to come back to this because we have a special guest who's not a special guest because he's part of the family. But last week he said some things about the Miami Dolphins. I want to bring him back so he can make this right. My bro, all bro Poe. What's good with you?
What? How you guys doing?
Hey man, I know your stay on here only gonna be 2 minutes because you ain't gonna have much to say after that. But we love you, bro.
Bro, I told you I'm not a fair weather guy. I'm rocking with it.
It ain't about fair weatherness.
No,
it ain't fair weatherness. It's
reality.
Down.
No, I stay down.
No, bro. Last week you said to me, you was like, "Yo, if we lose to the Titans,
it's looking shaky. If you lose to the Titans, it looks shaky."
Shaky.
So,
that's the word you're gonna use to describe it. Is shaky.
Yeah, it's shaky. That's it.
Bro,
shaky.
your boat's turned over.
No, it's not. It's not
in the hurricane, dog.
No, that's what you said. Certainly, that's what you said at 66.
It's a week-to-week league, but your season just weak.
No.
It's over, bro.
It's all good.
It's over.
It's all good. You guys got your opinions, and it is what it is.
No,
you guys are
facts.
Bills fans.
Facts.
You guys are Bills fans, so like you guys would love for everybody else in the division to just roll over and die, but that's just
no.
Yeah,
that's not me.
But you guys would love that. As Bills fans, you would just love if every team was bad.
No. I want competition. I want y'all to actually be good. No, for real, because it's not fun when y'all. It's the truth. It's not fun when y'all trash. Like, so for instance, when the Bills started to beat the Patriots consistently, it was like, all right, cool, we beating them, but Tom Brady's not like. There's a part of, I promise you, in Bills Mafia, if you talk to people, there's a part of us that it's like, okay, yeah, we got over the hump, and the Patriots are no longer like the big bad scary Patriots, but I wanted to beat them when they were at their best. Like beating them now just don't feel the same. So like dog walking the Dolphins when you don't have Tua, you don't have like Jordan's out. You know, he didn't practice today. You don't have like whoever. There's so many guys that's not playing. I saw Tyreek Hill is losing his mind right now. He's tripping, and so there's all this stuff going on. That's rough, bro. It's different.
It is rough.
It's different. I'm not even talking shit here. I'm really saying it's rough.
I mean, I said it's shaky, but the one thing I do know about this team in particular, and not like where the Bills, like if they're playing bad, you have a feeling that even if they're playing bad, everyone's still in it. Now with the Dolphins, one win brings everybody back to the table, and that's just the way their mindset has been. That's the way their mindset looks right now. Is that like one win just rights the ship in one way, shape, or form. And that one win has to come before you lose the locker room. It's getting there. It sort of seems like anyways. It seems like it's getting there, but it's not. I mean, it's not there yet. I wouldn't say it's there yet.
Real quick, I got one question from Joe. Go ahead, sir. Well, real quick, because last week you mentioned that, and I'm gonna tell you, Bills fans were salty about what you said last week. When you said this is the most talented roster that Jordan played on, Bills fans were salty. So that's why I'm throwing this one up. Because I don't think it's accurate. I don't, and a lot of Bills fans don't either. It's not the most talented roster that he's played on.
It is absolutely. If you look at just straight talent, take away like Josh is one of the best.
Well, you can't take Josh away.
But I'm saying like he's one of the top 2 quarterbacks in the league. But like at every other position, as far as individual talent goes, this is absolutely the most talented roster he's been on. It's not even debatable.
I think it's debatable. I think if this was the same roster, if it was 5 years younger, you might be able to say it's the best roster he's ever been on, but it's not.
The wide receivers are better. The O-line for the Bills was never that great while Jordan was there. As far as like the last year he was there was the best O-line that they ever had.
Miami's not looking that damn good right now. They can't protect their backup quarterback, and the starting quarterback is out with a concussion.
But I'm saying like that's where you would have it on offense is at the O-line position, and they didn't. The Bills never had that great of an O-line until the last year Jordan was there. And if you look at receivers, it's by far the most talented roster. And we're not talking about putting it together. That takes a team cohesion. That's different. But if we look at just individual talent per player, it's not. I don't even think it's close.
I just think that, and I respect it because you ride with fam, but I just think that you're being biased at this point. Like, honest to God, I love you, but that's just, to me, that's an ill statement. Like, that's crazy to say.
I mean, like Josh is probably like the only like far and away more talented player. Like Micah's not like Javon Waddle is not that far off from Micah as far as individual talent goes. Jalen and Trey on par. The second corner, Kendall Fuller is definitely by far more talented than any second corner we've had up until Benford, maybe. But like he was hurt all of Jordan's last year. That was the first year that he got there, and then we didn't get Rasul Douglas until later in the year. Like if we just go based off of just talent, like linebackers, like you can give the linebackers like is definitely by far more talented for the Bills than the Dolphins have. But every other position outside of quarterback, like linebackers, quarterback, you can clearly not debatable Bills were better. But outside of that, you can look it down the line, and it's not as far as just individual talent goes. It's not that far off for me to say it's not debatable.
Okay. Joe is going crazy in the comments. He said quarterback Bills, running backs Fish, tight ends Bills, O-line Bills, wide receivers maybe Dolphins by I disagree with you, Joe, on the wide receivers. I think the Dolphins got the Bills kind of by far with just their top two. We don't even have like I think T Higgins could go, not T, I'm sorry. I think Jalen Waddle could go to another roster somewhere and be a wide receiver one. I don't think we have one wide receiver on the roster right now that I consider a wide receiver one.
We ain't got a half.
Yeah, I just don't. And I think obviously Keon can develop to that.
Right.
He's not there right now.
And
we're talking about potential.
Don't get me wrong. Yes, tight ends now are better than the tight ends that the Dolphins have now, but tight ends weren't. Dawson Knox is not better than Jonnu Smith talent-wise. Talent-wise, I'm not talking about fit in how he plays, but he is not.
Yeah, Jonnu has more talent.
That's what I said.
Upside for sure.
I think upside and athleticism. I think we mix like being better with athleticism. I think when you look at somebody like Jonnu Smith, you can tell like, yo, if this dude tapped into his potential, he would be a beast. The thing is, though, he's athletic. He's not better. And so I think a lot of times we mix that up, like because he's
better
by
comes
sure
along
athletic.
With team though. That comes along with your team cohesion, how you put together a roster. But
Jonnu Smith ain't did shit in Miami so far, bro. Like, what are we saying?
Point, that's not my point. Like, as far as just talent, if you look at the talent on the roster, not how it's put together. Clearly, the Bills have put together teams that are much better than this Dolphins team. That's never been my argument. I'm talking about just the individual skill level of each player.
Yeah,
Jonnu Smith
I would agree with that.
Like,
I would agree with that. Yeah, I mean. That just goes to show how bad your coaching staff is. The boys can't put it together. And then it was so frustrating. Jalen Phillips is hurt now. It's like again, like, dang, man, that's
him and Jordan got hurt on the same.
Dang,
and Jalen's out for the year, man. That's tough.
Sucks.
Like it's tough. I do want to follow up on a question, and then Sterles, I'll throw it back to you after. Like you can take it after this question. You just said that you feel like it's close to him losing to the coach, losing the locker room down there. Obviously, I don't want you to say anything that will get your brother in a weird spot, but what is it that makes you like? Because outside looking in, I just think that with injuries, I feel like the players would understand. Like Tua's out. I can't expect my coach to magically make Tyler Huntley Peyton Manning. You know what I'm saying? So I would think players get that. What are you seeing that you feel like the players are, or you feel that coach is losing the locker room?
Because it would. And this is just based off of what I see. Like when you have a defense that is keeping you in ball games until halftime, when the offense is literally doing nothing, that makes it seem like you have a chance to win, and people came here to win. People like the people that came: Calais Campbell, Jordan, Tyreek, Javon Holland still here, Waddle. They're all here to win. And when you're not winning on a team that like where the Bills kind of built, they built from the ground like where they weren't winning, and then they graduated to winning and kind of kept the same guys as you go wherever it is. The Dolphins paid to have people come here and win, and they're not winning, and that's going to lose you a locker room regardless. So like, I think, like I said, one win kind of, that's why, in my opinion, one win kind of changes the aspect of the locker room. Everybody's going to be upbeat and positive after that. And you'll see Tyreek Hill get on the podium, tell you he loves Mike McDaniel. And it takes one win to do all these things where people are in front of a camera. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things that you win, you have the locker room, you lose, you don't.
So you would say that it's rocky. So tell me about, I mean, I know you saw it, like Tyreek say he's waking up the trade rumors. Like, what's that about?
I don't know what Tyreek Hill said specifically, but it just makes absolutely zero sense to trade him because you lose 36 million this year, 48 million next year, or 41.8 million next year, and the best you're going to get is some first round draft picks. That, I mean, it just doesn't make sense to lose all that cap space and then get a couple first round draft picks out of it. Like, that's what you're going to get with a loss of that much cap space. That just doesn't make sense to me. But who knows? Anything can happen. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I just think it's more him talking and stirring up stuff on Twitter because there's a lot of other conversations happening, and I think you talk about Kansas City Chiefs after what happened to Rashee Rice, and I'm hearing a lot, and I mean, like, I'm hearing heavy talks. I'm not talking about Twitter. I'm talking about my phone been going off today. Chiefs are really looking into Amari Cooper, and it's to the point where I think it's like very, very close to happening. I wouldn't be shocked if it happened this week or next week after the game, like within the next 7 days. If it falls through, it falls through. But I mean, like, it's chatter right now. Like, they going in about this Amari Cooper to Chiefs trade. So
that makes more sense because he's not that far
right
stretched as far as money wise, right?
But I think that's kind of really the truth of it. I don't think that Tyreek Hill is. I think he, just like Stefon Diggs, I think these guys know what they're doing and they enjoy. I can tweet this and throw people in a frenzy. Let me tweet something stupid or let me tweet something cryptic, not stupid. And I just think that happens quite a bit. And I think, again, players like Hill and Steph, they know that.
And it kind of builds up to like an off season. Maybe it puts you in a position where they thought about it enough to where it still doesn't make any sense this off season, but like at least maybe you got the conversation going. Like Diggs started that whole conversation. What was it like prior to the Cowboys game last year? And even a little bit before that, a couple cryptic things. So like it puts you in a position where you might be able to get out of there sooner than what your contract says if you end up really not wanting to be there.
Interesting. I don't know, man. This Devontae Adams stuff's crazy. Like, seeing if he gets traded to the Jets, what are they gonna do? They ain't gonna do nothing. Like, and I know he's not gonna come to the Bills, but the Bills have checked in with the Raiders.
I would trade Tyreek straight across for Devontae right now.
You're crazy as hell.
Because I think Devontae's a better fit for what this team has without Tua right now than Tyreek is. Tyreek is a game breaker, shot breaker. He's not a guy that can run the 5-yard in and catch 10 to 12 balls that Tyler Huntley needs right now. And so I would go straight across for him right now.
Dang, I wouldn't.
Yeah,
maybe a pick with it, but something close.
No, I wouldn't. Like, to me, Miami's offense right now, you just need your quarterback back. Like, I wouldn't make any kind of moves like that. For me, and the thing with Devontae Adams, I think he's I feel for him on one hand, but on the other hand, it's like, bro, you kind of got to be happy somewhere. I'm just getting tired of wide receivers. Is that fair to say? Like,
yeah, that's fair.
I think Diggs really gave me some type of PTSD when it comes to wide receivers and like being vocal about not wanting to play where they are and wanting the ball more. And I love Diggs. I think it's clear. I've said it so many times, but like it's exhausting. And then when you see somebody like Devontae Adams, he's on the receiver show on Netflix, and he's such like he's the guy out there right now. There's not a bigger star in Las Vegas for football. I don't know. It bugs me when wide receivers, even with Steph. Again, we're playing in Texas. I'm gonna say this shit. Steph, you know what bothers me about Steph? He didn't come out publicly and really say he wasn't happy here. Like, he didn't do that. But he gaslit a complete, like, the full organization, the fan base, and everybody involved. And he left the best situation for him that he's had. He's not going to get 115 targets every year. He's not doing that in Houston. You think that's happening, Poe?
No, because I said all this shit 2 years ago, and people didn't want to listen, and people were like, "No, Diggs need to be here." And Diggs has been doing this shit, and he's the type to put on for the camera and get in front of a camera, and be like, "No, I love my quarterback. I love we're best friends," and it's tiring to like keep up with this fake shit that some of these receivers got going on. And like, don't get me wrong,
fake news.
You got to do what you got to do to get your bread. I'm happy you got your bread, but don't come out here crying about your bread and then get your bread and then be like, "No, I'm not happy in the situation I'm at."
And that's it too.
Like, bro, you got your money.
Hey,
sit there and work it out.
Have y'all seen him on the post games, like after the game, where he's like dapping everybody all happy after losses? Like, bro, stop glazing. He is glazing.
He's doing one of those things where it's like he knows it's a 1-year deal down there in Houston, so he's on his best behavior. And I don't mean to say this in a negative manner towards him, because again, I love Diggs. Like, I've been one of the few very vocal about saying, like, you can love Keon being here and you can love the deals, the moves that the Bills made without shitting on Diggs. I've been one saying that, but it's tiring, man. Like, you got paid. Like, the Buffalo Bills took the biggest dead cap hit in history to let you go to Houston. Like, and I think they got underpaid for you. We got a 2nd round pick. Are you kidding me? A second. I'm not saying we need the 1st overall pick, but I mean, like, give me a second. At least give me a 2nd and a 6th and I don't know, something. Like, Stefon Diggs, the amount of offense that left when he left this building, and then you go to a game like this past Sunday against the Ravens, and we couldn't get open. I think it's crap. Speaking of Diggs, I read this right before you popped in. I'm gonna read this again. We're gonna go right back into it.
This might explain why he's so happy.
Yeah, he might be super happy because of this. This is alleged, okay? I'm not breaking news here. This is what's going around in hip hop Twitter and hip hop media and hip hop news, okay? Cardi B allegedly cheated on husband Offset with wide receiver Stefon Diggs. Offset found out by going through her phone and seeing Cardi sending Stefon Diggs nudes while pregnant and telling him that she can't wait to sleep with him again. I don't know what's true. I don't know what's not.
So Diggs she was pregnant, right?
She was
his child at the time, but like she was pregnant when she cheated on Offset with Diggs. Yeah. It's crazy work. It's crazy work these women got us on these days.
Bro.
I don't know.
He ain't fumbling everything, though. He ain't dropping every pass. You know what I'm saying?
That he dropped that one because
that's dirty work.
That's a loss in my book.
Cardi ain't a loss, but Cardi ain't the loss, but that whole situation is messy. Like, it's a situation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if y'all noticed this, but this past offseason, you seen him at all the parties and stuff, the fashion and all that. He's been doing all that. He's Hollywood now.
Damar Hamlin been on that same tour.
Yeah,
that white party, and that's.
You think Damar and Steph was at one of those puff parties?
Oh, I mean, it makes sense. Do it not.
But let me stop. He ain't been the same since he done been there.
That fast climb got people crazy, isn't it? That fast climb. Now we got Trevor Lawrence overthrowing by 40 miles to get. I don't know.
Yo, Damar Hamlin ain't never ashy.
Yo, you know what? All right, we're moving on. Yo, the title of this episode is The Suspension Story. So y'all know where we going next, man. Like, okay, so today, or yesterday actually, the news dropped about the news. I hate y'all so bad. The news dropped about Von Miller being suspended 4 games for the domestic violence charges that were actually they ended up being dropped because his fiance or girlfriend recanted her statement, dropped the charges. But the NFL did their investigation, and they chose that there will be a 4-game suspension for star defensive end or star linebacker Von Miller. First thoughts? I don't even want to know how you feel. Let's start with Poe, and then Sterling, you just run with it. But how when you first got that news and you found out about it, what was it that kind of ran through your mind about it?
It's just bullshit. I mean, I don't know if I can say that on here, but it's just
You can
bullshit.
say it.
Like, look, I got to spend some time with Von Miller this offseason. We went to Costa Rica. He came with us. And I kind of, we asked about it. And there's nothing about it that like where he should have been suspended at all, let alone the whole news thing that came out last year was bullshit. Like, I don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything as far as like women's domestic violence. I hope everybody that does that and gets caught doing that gets what they deserve and doesn't play in this league again. But that situation was trash. And the fact that he's getting a 4-game suspension before Rashid Rice, who we have speeding, racing, running away from an accident on camera before he gets his suspension is crazy to me. Crazy to me. I don't know. I think it's whack, but
that's a grimy nigga. Listen, this ain't the first time that he's been accused of this. You know, and so it's like, you know, I have like compassion for people who mess up regardless. And, you know, one time things get out of hand. Okay, cool. Like we can live on. It's ill-advised, but we can move on after that. But the third time, like I live out here in Denver, like this dude, and I've seen with my own 2 eyes that dude's baby mama. Like, so listen, dog, I'm gonna tell you right now, it just ain't a good look. It ain't a good look at all. So yeah, he got suspended. Like then you shouldn't have put yourself in the situation. This being the third time that we know of. You know what I'm saying?
Let me say something, and like I can't really speak on exact examples, but there's a and it's gotten blown out of proportion how like people will glaze over this situation as far as players that are very known getting looked at by women as a way to make money. And I'm not going to get into every story that I've heard, but like there's been times where like I'm like there's no way. And he like a lot of people they shouldn't put themselves in that position, but like it's a position that I went out with my boys and I took a girl home. It's like it's that one choice to take a girl home from a night out with your boys that turns into this situation. And
in fairness, and I'm sorry to cut you off. In fairness, I just feel like that's a different type of situation than what we're talking about. And like, because I try to be very fair down the middle about things. Like, I get how it is where everybody's like, we should believe the victims every time, right? So I get that side of it, but I also get I've witnessed friends of mine. I've been accused. I know people who like have lost big contracts, and I know football players and other that have lost money, you know, from lies. So I'm not talking about certain things like that. But with this, man, I just feel like with Von, there's a clear pattern, man. Like, what about the revenge porn? You know what I mean? There was another abuse or a physical abuse call that happened previously, and the same thing happened. She recanted her statement. And I'm not saying it like I understand because I've even seen it in the comments here. Obviously, people have been going at me on Twitter because I've voiced my opinion. But the thing that I see is like there's a pattern. Okay, now let's say she's lying. If a woman calls the police on you, I'm a black dude all the way. Like I'm black. I'm a nigga. I can't get away from it. If a woman calls the police on me, guess who ain't gonna be spending the night with that woman no more?
Facts.
You get what I'm saying? So if this is the second time this has happened for Von, plus the revenge porn thing, plus whatever else, guess what?
If it was the mother of your children?
If it's the mother of my children, we can raise kids separately. I don't need to be living with you because if you call the police on me, our relationship is if this is the second time. If my woman is calling the police on me, obviously we toxic as fuck and we don't need to be together.
That's fair.
And so if this is the second time,
that's also not like maybe she's looking for something out of it that she's not getting at that time, and that's her way of changing the situation, which didn't blow up a couple times. Maybe
about-
it's happened
And
more
what if
than
it's
once.
him though? What if it's him?
And what about the
You know?
revenge porn? Like, I just think there's patterns, man. Like, there's patterns, and that revenge porn thing was ugly. He ended up.
It was very ugly, but like, just imagine going out, sleeping with a woman, and her coming to you in the calmest way, saying, "If you don't do this, I'm gonna go do this, and you're gonna have to pay this amount of money." So I just paid it. So I just got to give that up now because I don't want this to go public that you're saying this. So I got to give you X amount of money because I chose to sleep with you. And now I am just asked out. However many times that this happens, I just got to give it up. So like, am I just gonna not be a guy? Just can't be with the woman. Can't go out and can't be with the woman now because I'm gonna get used for it. So like, there is two sides. But I'm telling you, this side, because it's 2024, and we have been on this train of like, we got to believe what is being told to us over the news and this and that we don't even look and see maybe is he getting played or not anymore. We don't even check. It's not even in our blinders. We're just automatically he's got.
But you're talking about a situation that has no relevance to what he's dealing with currently,
right? But he said that
I agree with you on that part.
The camera situation in the nude. So like, that was an ego part on his. He leaked it because he was pissed about a situation that had happened prior, and that is it right? No, but just being in that, I can put myself in that position and be like, damn, like would I have gotten that mad to where I'd be like, fuck it, like, yeah, I might have. If somebody was like coming to me like, no, you're gonna pay me this, or I'm gonna go out saying this and this and this, like, all right, well then I'm upset now. So like, who knows what I do in that situation? Yeah. Now that's ego. That's youth too. He was young. He made choices during that time, and then now he's with someone that might be a toxic relationship. Who knows? I'm not in that relationship. Obviously, the cops being called is not a good thing, and who knows what that situation upheld at that time? Who knows what she wanted out of calling the cops? And then she comes out the next day and says it was nothing. Like, that's weird to me. And then you're getting suspended for nothing now because your girl chose to call the police.
It's super weird to me, but I do want you to know, and I'll send you the stats because I don't want to just throw numbers. I know it's super high, but in abusive relationships, it's something crazy. Like 80% of women, 8 out of 10% of women go back to their abuser or recant their statements in order to protect them. So I'm not saying that this is the case here. I think there's a lot of reasons to believe that Von is a good dude, but I also think that there are alarming patterns that show that he potentially might not be as good as a lot of us think. So I think regardless of what side you fall on, I think it's fair. For me, I'm standing firm on how I've always stand. And I know you and I, Poe, we disagreed even about the punk god situation and certain things. So I get it. Like, there's different ways to look at it, and there are times when people are unjustly, like you're accused of things not right. I get that, and that, trust me, there's several things that I can point to both personally and somewhere else where it's like it's a lot of bullshit that really ruined that person's life.
Yeah.
I just don't
especially when you got money.
Yeah, especially
they're targets. These athletes are targets, right?
I just don't like, and this is just me. I'm speaking so I could be wrong. Everybody in the comments, if y'all don't agree, that's fine. If you're listening on the pod and you agree with Poe, or I don't know what Sterling's take on this yet is, and he about to give it, but like, if you don't agree with me saying like that, I think that this dude is like, I don't vibe with it. And that's okay.
Yeah, it's hard, man. Like, because it's hard to separate. It's hard to separate Von from the football player and everything we've heard from over the years to Von at a party, Von at the home. A lot of people do things a lot differently, right? And so, again, but when you have reoccurring issues such as this makes me go, okay. Like, again, after the first one, I can say, okay, you messed up, things happen. Yes, you should have taken yourself out of the situation. Maybe you couldn't have. Regardless, you should have made a better decision, right? And it's not always the man's fault. I just want to preface that. It's not always the man's fault. It's unfortunate, man. Like, here's what I hope out of all this: that Von gets the help that he needs, that his girl gets the help that he needs, or relationship counseling and therapy that they need, and for their children, and then they can move on from this whole situation. Because I don't care. You just don't want to see that. Like, growing up, I've seen men hit women as a kid, and it just never. It's never. It's always awful, man. It's awful, dude. I got three sisters, three older sisters, and I remember fighting their boyfriends at times because they put their hands on my sister. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro. So I don't know. This stuff hits me differently because I was a victim of it, or with my family, I'll never let a dude put his hand on my sister. I don't care if she's in the wrong. You're not gonna touch her like that. So again, Vaughn, get help, man. You might want to start going where it's snowing. You might have less issues there. I don't know, but yeah, man, this is unfortunate altogether.
Dude, not everybody. Okay, Sterles, you got to relax. Okay,
Sterles
You
is
gotta
correct,
relax.
100% correct. Stop.
No,
playing.
listen, no,
Sterles
let's
is
not
100%.
say he's 100% correct. He's correct. Women are beautiful. Okay, all of them.
Absolutely.
You
All
don't
women.
have to
I didn't say.
I'm just
He
saying.
didn't say nothing
I'm just
about that. He said you
I'm
might
just
have
saying.
less problems. That's all he said. You
Let's
might
not
have less problems.
let's not put a stigma on black women. There are
That's
some.
not-
I didn't
There
say
are a
black
lot of
women.
black women. No, but listen, I'm reading them between
I
the lines.
didn't-
Don't y'all
That's your
gaslight
fault.
me.
That's your fault.
It ain't my fault.
We didn't say
Don't
nothing
be-
about
What's
that.
the
fuck
Silk the
both of y'all.
Shocker? What Silk the Shocker?
Listen, we love everybody. I just want to throw that out
for
there.
real.
We love everybody, but I agree with you, and this is what the chop up is about now. Like we're opening up more and we're talking about more than football. So like speaking on your experiences, I have, I can tell you like. So my biological father, so obviously people don't know all of, like my family setup and all this stuff. My mother remarried, so the person I call dad, the person I call father is not my biological father. My biological father went into the army when he went prior to me being born, but he came back, he went through some very traumatic things over there. I'm not going to tell his business,
Sure.
but he came back not the same person. He came back, he's legally considered schizophrenic. Okay, so he's in a mental health hospital right now. He's been for years. I'm not saying that to embarrass the guy. I love my biological father and my family, but I'm saying this to paint the picture. He came back from the army and did some foul things to my mom. I saw him do some things to my sister. I saw him do some things to his family. And so it's one of those things where I think for me, just going through life, and then now when you, like what you mentioned, when you witness that for yourself, when it's somebody you love, somebody you care about, when you hear it, it's like, yo, fuck Vaughn. You know what I'm saying? And so I get the fans that look at it from the standpoint of, because I had a conversation with somebody today where they're like, yeah, but I understand it, and this, but you can separate the artist from the art. Like you got to understand, like, this football too, and this is important in this way, and I'm like, but there are things more important to life than football.
There it is.
And for me, when there's a rule that I think I've learned to live by, whether it was I don't want to make it sound like I was not a street, like I'm not that, but I mean, like, things I've learned in the streets, things I've learned in the church, and things I've learned in the workspace. And the thing that's remained consistent to me across every level: no women, no children. No women, no children. You just don't do things to women and children.
Yeah.
And the things that's coming out about Vaughn, again, I'll go back to the text stuff. Like, I don't care how your ego is hurt. Like, what if the chick you talking to, Poe, what if the chick you talking to, her ego is hurt, and she sends, the stroke vid you was sending her when y'all was getting jiggy? You know what I mean? Yeah, you got a long distance joint with Shorty. You just left Buffalo down in Miami. You still kicking it with Shorty back in Buffalo. So you sending her some joints, she's sending you some joints. Y'all get in an argument, and she go on Twitter and release your video.
If I try to get money out of her, then I would understand it. If I try to get hella money out of her by extorting her, I would understand it.
If somebody's trying to get money out of me, and I'm saying this in a joking way, but I'm going to find my Olivia Pope. Like, I'm going to find me a fixer, because clearly the situation has gone above and beyond, like, me as a football player. I got people trying to extort me. Like, I think people. Go ahead.
Because I feel like, yes, we all. I have a mother and a niece that if anybody ever touched them, I'd probably kill them. And so, like, and Rachel and a lot of family members that and a mother that probably went through some of this type of stuff, being from the older days. But like, I separate the situation. Like, we're bringing our personal situation and then taking our personal, which is out of context, to Vaughn and putting it on Vaughn, who has, like, if you have money, it's a different situation. And as much as people don't want to look at it that way, when you have money, that situation is different because there's something to gain from it.
Sure.
Whenever there's something to gain, it becomes
Absolutely.
a different situation. Now, in my situations with the women that I've known that have told me these certain things, there was no money to be gained. There was nothing. So yes, I absolutely believe them regardless of what they tell me, because there's nothing to be gained from them telling me that. I just feel like people don't look deep enough with people like Vaughn and other people into the situations that have money. And yes, there are people that with money that do. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but I'm saying you should look a lot deeper than just taking your own personal stance on it and then putting it into that situation as if it's the same, because it's not.
No.
And I like I said, I don't know exactly what happened. I know what I've been told and I know what I believe, but like again,
Right.
I don't know what exactly happened.
But okay, so let's I have 2 points here. One,
You know what? Real quick. Hold it real quick. I want to do something real quick. I feel like we're about to go into overtime. So let me do this. I want to do something that's going to entice those listening by podcast. Y'all need to get here next week. So what I'm going to do now, we're going to end the podcast of this. And then everybody that's here with us live, stick around after the outro is done. We're going to go into overtime. But real quick, I want everybody to go follow All Bro Poe on Twitter. Go follow Sterling on Twitter. And obviously follow your boy at the same time too. Go check for us. I'll have everything in the description of the show. We about to get on out of here. Y'all know how we do it at Rumblings Network. Again, stick around if you with us live. We're going overtime, but for the podcast, it's over. Love each other. Take care of each other. Live in peace. As always, stay positive. Test negative. Go Bills.
I can't do anything better than you. I can't do anything better than you.
All right, it's overtime. It's overtime. All right, Sterls, you had a thought there, and you had 2
Yeah.
points to make. I'm sorry that I cut you off that way.
oh no, you're good, because
get to it.
and I want you guys' opinion on this. So my first point is, one, it's hard for somebody to admit, like in a touchy situation like what Vaughn went through. If I was in his position, I can't speak for him. If I was in his position, it'd be really hard for me to open up and be like and tell the whole details of what happened that night, regardless, good, bad, positive, indifferent, whatever. So I'm like, okay, so I don't know. But then I go, okay, on the NFL route, they made a decision. So is it, and there was a 911 call that's allegedly out there and so forth. The NFL figured that they found something that gave him a suspension. I don't think they're going to suspend the guy just to be, assholes. Like, so what are y'all's thoughts on that?
Well, there's a code of conduct policy.
Hey, shout out to code of conduct.
If you get the cops called on you, and I want to say like there's any police merit to it whatsoever, they're gonna dig into it, and just because you had a situation off field, they're gonna suspend you for a certain amount of games. Some people appeal it, get 2 games, 1 game, a quarter, like depending on how the situation is. Maybe Vaughn appeals it, maybe doesn't. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But the code of conduct for the NFL, if you get into a situation, if you get pulled over and something aggressive happens, I'm not sure with the Tyreek Hill because everything was on video. Like, I don't know about that situation, but most of the time, if you have something off field, they're going to suspend you at least for a couple games.
You had a second point, Sterls, or did you?
No, it was the first point was about Vaughn being open about, because Poe mentioned that, they had a vacation together this summer. Like, how many people is going to be open and honest about all the details? There's always 2 sides to a story. You know what I'm saying? So so I'm not. It could be where he's remorseful. He doesn't want to talk about it, so he's only going to give you so much, right? Yeah. And we weren't there, so we don't know. But so when I see the news come out from the NFL saying he's suspended, I'm like, okay, yeah, like they must have found something that the public doesn't know.
Well, and that's the thing, like, because everybody in my comments today, so obviously y'all saw the post, or if you didn't, I posted, and I'm just like, I'm disgusted, by how many Bills fans are in support of trying to eliminate the suspension or reduce it, and people showing this support for that was my take. So a lot of people jumped in there and people had thoughts and everything, and that's fine, but it's like, I just want to make it very clear, Sterls, like where I stand. And there's folk, and that's once again, there's a lot of things that people can agree and disagree on in life. And there's things that you can agree to disagree on and still be, this might not be one of them for some people. You know, there are certain things for me that I don't bend at all on. Like, to me, racism, you racist, I don't fool with you. You sexist, I don't fool with you. If you know, like, there's certain things I just don't fool with you. And to me, I draw the sand in the line when I talk about people mistreating women and children. Now, that's not to take away from men being in any type of situation. There are absolutely cases of domestic violence where men are the victim, and it's way more common than people think. But men don't speak up because they're embarrassed that somebody will laugh at them because a woman hit them or whatever the case may be. But again, based on what I'm telling you just about my past, man, it's like growing up the way I grew up and seeing the things that I've seen, women and children, you know, like, you're cut, like it's over with. And you know, somebody tried to come at me like, well, show me your Spotify list, I know you're supporting. Listen, I said last week on the show,
somebody said show me your Spotify list.
They sure did, because they was like, well, you mad at us for supporting Von, I bet you support some abusers or something like that. I bet you I do, because I'm gonna tell you, just like I watch the Bills every week, I'm not gonna stop watching the Bills because Von Miller plays. I'm not gonna stop hearing Puff every time I listen to Biggie. Puff is going, take that. Gimme, whatever you do. You on that 112? I listen to 112 every day. You hear Puff. So I'm not saying that okay, I understand that Von Miller is one of the best. He's a top defensive end, linebacker, pass rusher in NFL history. He is.
Absolutely.
He's fun to watch when he's healthy. He is. We can say all of that. I'm not disagreeing. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say the dude's a bum. He's not a bum. The reason why I'm so upset is because he's not a bum. I was happy that he was here. Like, I was, dude, when he got signed, I celebrated it. Like, I absolutely celebrated it. My man Jay Red was like, bro, you tripping. This is a bad sign. And other people, you just trip, bad sign. And I'm like, y'all all crazy. We got Von Miller in Buffalo and y'all saying it's bad. Yo, go eat I went off. People. I've completely about face. Yeah, take that from Puff as well. You're right, D. But I've done a complete about face when it comes to my support on people like Von, on Puff, on, like, when things happen. That's really how I stand. And so, you know, somebody tried to call me out for hypocrisy earlier. I ain't got no women calling the police on me. So I'm just saying, okay. Like, you might have some women that be like, oh, Spence hurt my feelings back in the day, or he won't return my call. He ain't text me back. Yeah. I don't talk to these hoes, but I'm gonna tell you the truth is, I ain't got nobody calling about no abuse. And by hoes, I don't mean all women. I'm talking about
no, I know what you're saying.
Well, no, I know you know.
Okay.
I know knows, but you know how the comments go.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna clip that one part.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be like, oh, Spence called women hoe. No, I'm not.
It's interesting. How would you avoid that? Because look, if you had we'll just say the amount of fame and the amount of money that Vaughn had. And as far as extortion goes, that happens a lot, and I've heard
it does.
And so, if you had people extorting you, it's the same lawyers over and over again, and like, it doesn't matter. Every time you hang out with a girl, it's the same thing. It's the same, like, no matter what you do, it's the same. Like, yo, all right, we gotta pay here, boom, pay here, all right. And at what point, like, what do you do? Just stop hanging out with women? Like when in your 20s, like your 20s to 30s, like, what do you like? Because no matter what, it's gonna. There's been.
No, can we be honest about it?
Are we talking about in general or just Von's situation?
I'm talking in general.
Oh, okay.
Okay, in general, can we be honest about it? I'm serious. So one thing that your brother taught me, like your brother and your father taught me this, like in the position that he's in, and then, like, you know, certain avenues that I'm in, and there are places we're going to be tempted, and then also there's temptation that's going to be there that we don't necessarily want. So it's not a temptation, but you got people that's up on you that it is going to happen. It's going to happen. And one of the things your brother and your father taught me is that when you are blessed to be in the position that you're in, it comes with responsibility of knowing how to conduct yourself. So what I'm saying, and you could say no, but I know, as a professional athlete or as a professional singer or as a professional whatever, if everything is out about me, everybody's out to get me, they trying to extort me, why am I going to put myself in a situation to be around people like that? You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even gonna put myself there. There's a reason why I have day ones.
That's everywhere. Then that means you're not going out. You're not going to
No,
do
it's,
that. Like
that absolutely
you
doesn't
just
mean that. No,
because
I'm
if
not
you
saying
go,
don't go outside. No, go outside, but have boundaries. You don't have to sleep with every chick that wants you. You don't have to let every nigga into your VIP section that want to hang with you. You don't have to let you don't like even dude. There's so
That's-
many people. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
that's just crazy. Like it's crazy the responsibility that we're predicating to a 25 to 30-year-old man.
But that's what
that-
comes when you make $1 million to play football.
But I'm
Like
saying
me,
like
I would
because
get
other
tired.
people's actions. That's because of
understand.
other people's actions and other people's
100
wants and needs. And like, and don't get me wrong, we were raised from my dad to be a certain way, and that's not just with money. But don't get me wrong, me nor my father nor my brother know what it's like to be Von Miller. Know how that
Right.
situation goes.
Right.
Von
Different
Miller
levels.
is a
Right.
different
Different
level of famous, different level of money, different level of women knowing exactly who that is, sneaking into that life to get what they want. I have no idea what that situation was like. So do I take in what I was told and what I am told about that type of living from whether it be Vaughn or Odell or if I ever had a conversation with Drake? Absolutely, I'm gonna take it in because I have no idea what it's like to be those people.
And
So
you're right. I don't either. You're right. But what I'm saying is like you got to have a team and you got to know, like you can't just be out there reckless just because you got
that's
money
the point.
and young. You know what I'm saying? So I get everything that you're saying. But when you dog, I work for the state of Arizona, man. If I got a DUI tomorrow, I would be fired.
Absolutely.
No, so what I'm saying, if I go into the office and whether I did it or not, if I went and spoke to a chick and she felt like it was sexual harassment, I would be suspended from work pending investigation. They let this dude play a full season after everything was heard, did they investigation and still let him play, and people mad he's getting suspended now. I would lose my job immediately. Like, so again, a lot of people, and this is what bothers me about the sport. I feel like a lot of people will turn a blind eye to things because they love who they love, or even politics. Donald Trump has 34 federal indictments. No, I know. I saw your face already. I know you don't like when I go here because I get it. Everybody supports Trump. I get it. Listen, I think he's a dirtbag. I do. I'm not voting for him. People about to come log off the show. People about to unfollow me. That's cool too. I won't vote for a man who does some of the shit that he does. He's racist. People say he's not racist.
He's not racist.
Okay, I'm a black man, and I'm telling you that the vibes I get from that dude is that he's racist. He wouldn't rent to black people for years before the president. He wouldn't rent to black people. He talks about black people in a way that I don't appreciate because I'm black. And you're gonna tell me he's not racist? I know what those code words mean.
Okay, but no, so I don't like this conversation because I have a black brother that I have these conversations with all the time. You now are pulling out this situation to where I can't speak because I'm not black. That's but that's the framing that you put on it when you say that.
No, don't do that because I don't like when people try to do that to me. That's not what I'm doing to you. What I'm saying is I'm telling you from a first point view. Sterling will tell you the same thing. I can have 15 other people log in. I can post this link on Twitter and say, hey, black people, real quick, jump in. I want you to talk to Poe. I guarantee without being prepped for it, there is I know he got blacks for Trump. I'm telling you, there is a consistent way that we feel in the community about this dude.
And that's the community that you are surround yourself by and that you're a part of. The community, the black friends that and the black people that Jordan surrounds himself with, I promise you, they all don't think he's racist.
Again,
and so like that, there's a difference of like groups. No, I get it, but I'm saying like, I promise you, the people that actually like Trump, that have dug into Trump, the black people that have dug into Trump, they don't think he's racist because they actually dig into it and don't listen to what news tells them about certain things and this and that. Now, I said, I don't think none of them politicians are good. People say, oh, I'm not voting for Trump because he's a bad guy. Kamala's a bad person too. Anybody in that government spot that says things and they don't follow through with none of the shit that they do, they're all bad people. But I'm saying I'm voting, like, as far as voting,
we don't have to talk about where you vote. No,
but I'm saying I'm voting based off of
like
a policy, not based off of how I feel towards a person's like they're if they're a good person or not, because I don't think none of them are good. I don't think nobody that's in politics is good. And so like this argument of like who is this and who is this, and I don't like the argument because they're all bad in my opinion. All of them are bad people. They've done bad things. Hillary was voted for by 60% of or 50% of the population, and she was probably the worst out of anybody that's ever ran.
I just be honest, man. I don't get how people can hear him say some of the things that he say like publicly and y'all just ignore it. I don't get it. But Sterls, you have something that we can because I don't want this to turn into a political. I don't want this to turn into the presidential talk. So first,
well, we got
some
comments in here. My dog Rob says it's not like he didn't know he was known. He knows he's a target. The pattern is the pattern. You can't ignore the pattern. I think a statement like that is something that you can apply to Von Miller. You can apply to Donald Trump or any politician. That the pattern is the pattern, right? Like people predominantly don't change, right? It's unfortunate, man, that as humans we're all messy in some way, shape, or form. And those who have those types of platforms, you get to use it to give life, or you get to use it to bring death. Cole has Spencer. There's a comment by Cole here. I want you to comment on because he's made a few comments in here. He says, because you're black, you're the only one that has an opinion. What if you're not guilty? You still hold them accountable?
Well, I wasn't talking about guilt or not guilt when I mentioned that he's a racist. I'm talking about how he treats, speaks to, and how he deals with people of color. That's what makes me feel like I think he's racist. And it doesn't mean that I'm the only one with opinion. Sterling has an opinion. Poe just gave his opinion, and I respect both of them. You have an opinion, I respect yours too. Where I stand, I'm trying to show my pattern. I'm trying to show that I'm consistent. When R. Kelly did the shit that he did, I stopped fooling with him. Now, if I'm out at the bar, if I'm out at a club or on a cruise, and I hear two-step come on or step in the name of love, guess what I'm doing? I'm stepping in the goddamn name of love. You know what I'm saying? If I'm out at the club and Hypnotize comes on and I hear Diddy, take that. Guess what? I'm vibing the big. So I'm not gonna sit here and try to make it seem like I'm lying about when the Bills play and Von gets a sack. I'm happy as hell on 3rd and 5 when it turns into 4th and 12. I am happy. So I'm not sitting here saying it like I hate him. If Donald Trump, when he was in office and if he does something that he wrote, he actually it wasn't. I'm gonna give him credit for the sake of this conversation. He allocated a lot of money to HBCUs. That's a good thing. I'm not going to go into it further about how it was less than Biden and less than what they're doing. I'm saying he had a good thing. I give him credit for that, but it doesn't take away from the fact that I feel like this is the energy I get when I see this guy speak and handle himself around people that look like me. That's all I'm saying. If you don't agree, Cole,
can I say something
real quick? Because he also mentioned, what about a razor? I was the first, maybe not the first one. I was very clear. Cut him. I can bring up the tweet the day it happened. I wanted him gone. I still think, okay, if that case wasn't the thing, he admitted to sleeping with an underage woman, which to me still is off. And the fact that we want to apologize or we want to forgive these people for doing this wild shit just because they can kick a football, throw a football, catch a football, tackle somebody carrying a football, I think is insane. I think it's insane. Like when we start to talk about shit like this, like it's real shit, man. Like people are going through the stuff that happened with Deshaun Watson. This dude should not be in the NFL. He should not be playing in the NFL. If I sexually harassed over 20 women, do you know where I would be right now?
Locked up.
But go ahead, Poe. I just wanted to finish
and to the point, especially being an African American male, you would be locked. I mean,
would be locked.
You throw away the key and you ain't coming out. You know, so. There's man, I think context and all that matters. And you know what the cool thing about this whole conversation is that we can talk about it and have differing opinions and all be boys like that. That's growth. I mean, that's to me is the beautiful thing.
And like I said, and all respect to Cole. No,
I appreciate
the question. I appreciate the question. I hope my response wasn't. I see you're saying you respect the response, and thanks for being calm. Real talk. There's no hate to nobody. My feelings about a lot of these things are my feelings, and Poe would tell you, and Strohs would tell you, Joe will tell you. There's a lot of times that we have differing opinions on things. Guess what? I love Jeremy. Like there's nothing that he and I have argued about or disagreed about that made me say I don't want you to come on the show again. Or yo, when I'm in Miami, let's link. Or yo, that's my dog. Jordan's my dog. Sterling, whoever, Joe is my dog. So look, if we disagree on certain things, that's fine. But I feel strongly about racism. I feel strongly about sexism. I feel strongly about mistreatment of children. I feel strongly about abuse of any kind. I just feel strongly about it. And maybe this is the time when things like this happen as a content creator and podcaster that I should remove myself, because I'm noticing that like a lot of my opinions are, I guess, not received well. But I feel strongly. That's all.
I feel like they're received well. I just want to say this before I feel like your opinions are received well. They come off strong because they're yours, and so like people either believe them or don't believe them, or get angry about them or don't like. But I mean, they come off well thought out. I just wanted to get into like the idea, because we got far away from it and I had it in my mind. Trump, I don't think that I think he treats people bad. I just don't think it's directed at a certain group of people. I think it's directed at everybody that has less money than him. He just looks down on them, and I just don't take that into consideration, because I think it does for him. It doesn't matter what race or sex you are. He just looks down on people with less money than him. I don't take that into consideration when I'm voting for the president of the United States, because to me, I don't need you to treat me well. I need you to do what's best for the country. And so that is where I stand. I'm not saying I agree with some of the shit that Trump does, because I don't. He does some shit that I don't agree with, like as far as the way he speaks to people and whatnot. But I also think that everybody that has ever ran for a political spot has said some fugazi ass shit. So
No,
I mean, I've said some wild shit before. So
yeah,
again,
I'm not all said it.
Yeah.
Like
So I mean,
shit.
like, I'm not perfect, and I'm not trying to sit here and act like I'm perfect. If you look me up, you're gonna see a lot of crap from my childhood when I just wasn't a good kid. I did a lot of shit.
But here's the difference, though. Here's the difference. When your platform is as such, you're held to a higher standard. And
there it is.
And I'll tell you this, man. And I don't pull the race, like the race card is, that's not my thing. I joke about it and so forth, but and I can prove this statistically, but there is systematic racism in this country, systematically. And there's a lot of things that I'm learning, that, you know, where the veils of my eyes have been kind of open wide, and there's a lot of stuff out there that's designed to keep African American or minorities down. It just is. And we forgot about slavery? Have we forgot about that? Have we forgot about the banking system not letting blacks have loans? Are you like, what? I mean, can't buy houses? Like that's real stuff. So when people, you know, politicians are a part of that system and they make policies and they get kickbacks off those policies, mostly policies that they don't even believe in, you know? So I think the platform that you have and you've been given, the power that you have and you've been given, I think the man upstairs sees that. And I think you will be held accountable for the decisions you make and the words you speak. And you should be speaking life instead of speaking BS. That's one of the things I do not like about Donald Trump. Like, give me the policy, don't give me all the bullshit. You know, I
100% agree with everything.
I just wanted to say that, and I'm not, you know, coming at you guys. I'm just saying that, like,
no, yeah.
Because it's real.
Go ahead.
I 100% agree with everything you said, and I can separate the two. Do I think that the man upstairs is letting Trump into his office? No, I don't. Do I think he's letting Kamala Harris into his office? No, I don't. I that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think a lot of these people. I'm just looking at what I think is going to benefit the country, and that's separate from do I think this is a good person or not. Because I really don't think none of them are good people.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you there when you say, because I think to be a politician to make it to the top level, you got to do some.
You got to do some grind.
You know what I mean? So I'm not going to sit here and say that anybody is like so. But what I will say is though, man, like, so I'm in finance, right, and I work in government. From a financial standpoint, I would say 3.5 years out of the 4-year Trump administration, financially, things were good. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a banker, I work in banking and I work in finance. It was good around the country. So yeah, I can be honest and I can say, hey, there are things that Trump did that I liked. But what I'm saying a step past that is that I'm the type of person, I vote for the type of person who, at the very least, treats people right. And I'm not saying Harris is all. I don't know, but from what we can see, like I see Trump dogging people like and I'm saying this as a joke now, like I'm actually laughing at it because there's plenty of times I laugh at a lot of things that he does. I think he's a comedian. Like I love Strohs would tell you we're all in a group chat, me, him, B, Daryl, like we got a group chat and there's so many times that I find Trump amusing, man. I don't, it's not like every day I'll sit here and just hate on Trump. I don't sit here and be like, yo, Trump is an ass. We talk about politics and I give everybody the fair shake. There's things that Trump does and has done that I think has benefited the country. And if you're going to say nothing has benefited the country, you're just being dishonest.
And Kamala has some stuff when she was, in California where she was, making policies to keep African Americans in jail. So
wait a minute. I won't go that far. No,
I will because it's true. We can't. Hold on.
No.
It is true, and I can prove it. We can't just sit here and say, "Well, Trump is this," and not say,
I just said Trump was good, and I'm saying,
too.
I just said there's some things that Trump did was good, and I will. But one thing that I won't do, you can say everything you got to say, but when certain things aren't true, I'm not going to just like. It's not true that
when we get off here, I'll send you stuff.
Send me stuff. But she hasn't specifically tried to keep black people in jail. If you are in an area and black people, if I'm black and I do a specific crime, she should, just because I'm black, she shouldn't be like, I'm gonna go easier on you because you.
Can I ask you something?
There are people that went to jail that deserve to go to jail.
Very favorable towards.
Can I ask you something, Spence? So off of Sterl's point.
Wait. No, let's Sterl finish his point. I just wanted
part
to
of
say,
his point. I just wanted to ask you because I wanted your take on this before I forgot. If you look at the certain amount of incarcerations in California during that time that put black people in jail, and then Kamala made laws that kept those specific incarcerations that black people mostly did during that time, like smoking weed and just in that particular. Would you consider that an attack on a certain race, or do you think that she's just doing that for the certain law that was being broken?
It's a good question
because it's tough. It's tough.
No, but it's a good question. What I feel like can I give two answers?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so the first answer I'm gonna give from what I feel is a common sense standpoint. It might not be common sense, but from what I feel is a common sense standpoint, I think if something is a problem and a big problem, whether it be one community or just in general, I think there should be things that regulate them. So if there is a problem with, so again, if you use weed as an example, let's say now weed is legal in most places, but let's just say it's a problem, like it's crack or something, right? I think that crack, stuff like that, fentanyl, let's use fentanyl. Fentanyl needs to be regulated. Absolutely needs to be regulated, right? We can agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
So if she, as a public defender or as a whatever DA and whatever, if she fought to send people to jail longer for fentanyl sales and distribution, I'm not, even if it means most black people are the ones being affected by that, I'm not upset with that because I think the future that comes after that for the children and for the people in that community is better. I do. Now, the way you framed the question, as a black man, my second answer is, hey, if y'all trying to keep, because this is what happened with Reaganomics, this is what happened with the Clintons.
That's why I use marijuana.
This is what,
because marijuana was looked for. The Ford was good for marijuana.
Right. So I got you. And same thing. And that's why I brought up crack.
And that's where my whole thing was coming up. What I was referring to.
So what I'm saying, when you want to use it, I do think that shit is wrong. So it sounds like I'm being hypocritical in a sense where I'm saying one thing is, but what I'm saying is
I can differentiate what you're saying. You're good.
Right. So I'm saying I can look and say whether it's the black community, a white community, Asian, regardless of the community that this is happening in, if there is a problem that is overtaking the community in a negative way, it needs to be regulated. Mm-hmm. But I also think it should be regulated in a fair way. For instance, when Reaganomics happened and they put that law into place about crack cocaine, right? And it's like an ounce of cocaine or an ounce of crack would give you, like, I forget the time, but it was something way more than what like a brick of cocaine to give you. Like, it was something crazy.
Right. The war on drugs. It was heavily
influenced, like it was heavily geared towards the black community.
Mm-hmm.
That is the thing that I have an issue with.
Yep.
Now, if it's like literally everybody doing it and you regulate it evenly, like you just regulate it. It's not like we're gonna go down to Bailey and Kennington. We're gonna go on the east side and we're gonna get all them black folk. No, go ahead and like literally everybody. If everybody's doing it, get everybody. But I just think things should be fair. So I mean, I don't know if that's the answer you both wanted.
No,
I don't know if it's
I appreciate that answer. My whole thing is this: is like people vote whoever you want to vote for. Don't care.
Yeah, vote. Just
But
vote.
people
Please
need,
vote.
but I just want to challenge everybody to do the research and do the homework, and don't just say, "Well, Donald Trump is just awful because of this thing," and Kamala's just, or say Kamala's just. There's nothing wrong with Kamala, or Kamala's wrong at this. Like, just do your homework. And everybody has their own like personal convictions. What makes them want to go vote for this or that person and whatever. But it's okay to have a conversation about it. And I appreciate the conversation we're having tonight. Like this is healing for me, because like people, we're boys, right? And in the Romulus community, we're all family. But there's people out there who fight over this shit. Like fisticuffs, pulling guns out, and the country is like really in trouble. Like it's divided, and so these kind of conversations need to happen, so that at least we can try to bring some semblance of community back.
I really enjoyed the JD because, and this conversation kind of brings me back to it, but the JD Vance and the Waltz debate yesterday was extremely positive, in my opinion, for at least the future. And so we saw a really good debate, regardless of what side of it you were on, whoever you thought won, whatever. I really appreciated the fact that they could sit down and have a debate that seemed coherent.
Yeah,
that was nice. And it's the first time in a long time, since maybe Obama versus I forgot who the last person he ran against, but that was the first time that I heard a coherent debate in a long time. So I appreciated it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The thing I liked about that debate, first of all, I'll be honest, I think JD Vance won. I think JD Vance won. But one thing I will say about the debate that I liked is that both of them were respectful. Kind of just piggybacking off what you said. It almost made me feel proud of politics again, or like proud of the country again. Like I remember one of my so the first election I was able to vote in was like it was the second Bush term, right? So obviously it was it was a wild it was a wild time. It was a wild time. And so I've been able to kind of witness quite a bit of things. But one thing that I remember from that time, that next election when Senator McCain was running against President Obama, and there was a young, or I don't know how old or young the lady was, but when a woman came out and was like, "Oh, he's a Muslim and he's a terrorist and he's gonna blow up the country and I don't trust him," and John McCain was very and he's like, "No, we disagree on fundamental values about certain things about how the country should be run, but he's a good person." And as much as I find entertainment in what Trump and Kamala Harris does when they go at each other, I found respect last night. And I'll be honest with you, I have to change my opinion on JD Vance a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. I thought he was just a complete moron. He's not. Like I think he's a lot smarter and a lot more prepared for things than we wanted to give him credit for. I feel like a lot of times, and I'm guilty of this, obviously doing pods and all this stuff, but I feel like media took certain parts and certain clips of things that he said since he's been the vice presidential candidate, and I think they've painted him in a picture that made him unfavorable. I can be honest and say that. Me saying I don't like Trump, I'm honest in saying that. So again, I'm the person when y'all be coming at me on Instagram or Twitter, listen, I'm telling you, I'm probably really the easiest dude to really have this type of conversation with, because I really do want to hear your perspective, because sometimes I think certain perspectives can change perspectives. Like I think if we can have a good conversation, and Jeremy can be honest about this and tell y'all, there have been conversations where he has changed my mind on certain things. I don't think I've changed yours much.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've changed my mind on certain things, but like whenever we disagree, it's always sports battle. Like this is the first time where like we've really disagreed on like because we never had this conversation.
Yeah.
So like we always kind of push this to the side.
But even with this, like I'm hoping that people watching this and hoping that people are like in the comments can see, like, even with this, if this is a
Hey,
disagreement, this
here's
is
a
what a
comment.
disagreement is supposed
Look.
to be about.
Yeah.
Tiffany says, great conversation, guys. I appreciate the different opinions, but the respect. We need more conversations like these.
Yep.
I agree. And I think Walter and Cole said something different. This is what we need. So let me, one more question about the politics, and then we can get back to just whatever. I like the way this conversation is going. One more question about it. You know what?
Nah, you got to do it.
No,
Late.
I just
Late.
heard the Lord. I heard the Lord.
It's
I
too
heard the
late.
Lord.
What? You can't
No.
just get to the
He
precipice and
said
then
he
jump
was
off.
going
Like, what?
nuclear.
No, Jesus just told me. He just said, you know what? That ain't the move to make. And you know what? I'm a cha-cha slide out of it.
We could have put this on Instagram. We could have had a
No,
nice
I don't want to be canceled. I'm
Okay.
I'm enjoying.
We can talk
my
about it in the
peace.
group chat.
Well,
Group
I
chat.
at least want to know
Yeah.
what it was about.
Yeah, I'm a text after we get off. Matter of fact, when
Alright.
we get off of this in a few, we're gonna get off. So okay, we got 10 more minutes. When we get off of this in 10 minutes, we're gonna chop it up. But but let's round this out. So we talked about Miami, we talked about the Bills. We didn't talk about this next game coming up, but I do want to talk about another team in the AFC East because I think it's relevant. That's a huge pivot. We just went from like Von and the suspension, politics, all that shit, and we going back to football real quick. I do want to kind of talk about Cole said he needs in the group chat. Yo, DM me, Cole. I got you. We're gonna add you to the group chat tonight. But I do want to talk about, was I right or was I right when I said that y'all crazy, not you or you, but y'all crazy as hell for thinking that Aaron Rodgers was gonna be better than he was when we saw him healthy, and everybody was talking about the Jets were the team to beat in the AFC, and they were the Super Bowl pick and all this stuff, and Rodgers already got a knee injury. He's still getting treatment every day now, and all this. Like it.
Well, I still think that the Jets are a good team that could win the East. I mean, that's still on the table. I don't know who said that Aaron's going to be better than what he was as MVP. Right. I don't know who said that.
Yo,
but like,
I'm gonna send you a bill. I'm gonna send you a bunch.
insanity.
I'm gonna send you a bunch.
No, I think the Jets are going to be a good football team, and I think as good as the Bills have looked, and I said this last week, I just don't think that. I think at some point people are going to understand this new Josh and this new offense and this new defense, and it's going to be a lot harder to get wins than what it was. And so we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. I think that the Jets are a good football team, good defense. They have that new running back. I think should get most of the carries. I would trade Breece Hall if I was them.
Trade him to Buffalo. Yeah,
no,
trade him to Buffalo.
Trade him to the north, the northwest. No. Yeah, Seattle.
Send him to Buffalo. Send him to Buffalo.
Get some picks or a receiver or D line back. I don't know, but I like that Braylon kid. He's nice.
Stills?
Oh man, the Jets are cooked. Aaron, he's just not the same player. I mean, he's 40 years old. You know, coming off an Achilles. And a big part of Aaron's game was his mobility. He just doesn't have that anymore. He could still be effective, but not to the extent that we've seen him in MVP form. It's just not there. I don't think he has the necessary tools around him to be successful. Like for someone coming off an Achilles injury, that offensive line needs to be better, and it's just not. It's not where it needs to be. Can it improve? Yeah, it can improve. But that's again, we're talking about hope and optimism and potential. It ain't reached it yet. And then you have the rift between him and the head coach. And no one can sit here and say, oh, there's no rift, because it's obvious. It's on television. Like we see it week in and week out. Like I tuned into the Jets Broncos game because I wanted to see like what the heck's going on, And so, yeah, man, it's just, it's funny because the betting community told us that the Jets were the best team in the AFC East prior to the season, Spence, and that's not the case now. They're far from it, and I would venture to say, they're better. They're
not far from it. This whole division is not far from
the Jets and the Dolphins played right now. I'd pick the Dolphins to win the game. That's just me, though.
Right now, this week, no.
9 points to the Broncos, bruh.
This week, no. The Broncos defense is.
Listen, you're biased because you love Aaron. That's your dog.
Aaron is
you're gonna have. He
doesn't need to be MVP, Aaron. He needs to be.
See, this is where I get you, dog. Because you and Aaron and Vaughn, you're gonna stick up for them boys because them your people. Don't do that
because I know
call it like it is. Watch the film and you see it.
Jeremy be with them in the summer when they be doing them drug drink retreats.
Them
Oh, wait,
ayahuascas.
we're not gonna call it a drug drink for sure.
I'm joking. No, I don't even know what it is. No, I'm joking. I'm joking
We
completely.
can call it whatever you want, just don't call it a drug drink.
Ayahuasca.
What is it though? No, you know what is it? Because I feel like okay. What movie? No, you know what I watched? Did you watch Snowfall?
I didn't watch it.
Not.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so there's a show called Snowfall. It's about it's basically the life about the real Rick Ross and how right. So separated. There was an episode where the dude from the CIA and his wife went to like this different country and they had like this psychedelic, I don't know what you call it, but they gave him something and they had like this level or this attainment or atonement of like all of these spiritual things and thoughts and cleansing and all that stuff. So when I say drug drink, I know it sounds like Diddy. I don't mean it like Diddy.
We won't call it something different.
Yeah, no, that was bad. No, right. You're right. No, you're right. That was bad. I don't mean it like a drug drink like Diddy. Ain't nobody getting drugged like that. But it does kind of it takes away like certain realities and puts you in a space where people say you are able to think more clearly and freely. So what is it? What are you doing when y'all go?
This is perfect because we have a documentary coming out and it's gonna really explain like everything. We have a website coming out and everything's Jordan has this Luminate mind, body, and soul company that we're starting, and the actual ayahuasca is two plants that are intertwined and brewed into a tea. And so the tea does give you like some psychedelic, it has psilocybin in it and DMT. So it gets you to a certain place of whether it be thought provoking or it doesn't let you run from your problems. A lot of Army vets, Marine vets, they come back and they go do this and they're able to kind of die down from their PTSD because it allows you to open up your mind and think a lot more clearer. And I can't really do it justice with it. I can only explain like my process through it. I can't do it justice with the explanation, but it was an unbelievable journey that there was a lot of trauma for me going into it. My mom, my brother, I'm sure Vaughn, Aaron, and a lot of these conversations that I speak on happen at a very vulnerable time where everybody's open. And so that's why you'll see me have Vaughn's back and Aaron's back, because I got to see those people and I know the type of people that they are at their base and what they show off at some points. I can't really take that into consideration, but it was a very eye-opening experience. I would say ayahuasca. I would say everybody, it's not for everybody, but everybody go do your research if you have any type of PTSD, trauma that you have a hard time getting over, or if you just need a next step of what you're going to do, if you need to think more clear. It's like a year or 10 years of counseling in one night. Like that's what it feels like. You go through like 10 years of counseling in one night.
Okay, so this off season coming up, can you sponsor me? I can't afford the flight, is what I'm saying. So can you? I want to come, but I can't afford it. So can you maybe talk to Jordan, see if he can pay for the flight?
There's a place out there that does it in Arizona. My mom's gonna go to one out there.
Why I can't do it with y'all? We supposed to be brothers. What the fuck? What is happening?
I paid for mine. What do you mean?
Jordan made you pay?
Of course I paid. What do you mean?
Man, y'all crazy, man. That's crazy. All right, I'm gonna hit Mom Dukes up. I'm gonna see where Mom's is going. I'm gonna go with her.
Yeah, I mean, she found one out there that she wanted to go to and test it out. It was like $550 or something like that for one night. You don't get like the resort, whatever, but zooted is not the term I would use. And to be honest, like it's scary at points. The first part of it, you kind of feel like you're running through a storm and it's hard to get out of it. And then some point,
hold on. Hold on. Spence got to start OnlyFans.
Yeah. I thought you'd been there, done that.
Hey, why are you telling my business, man? I don't need people knowing. I don't need people knowing that they can see the goods. Okay, you got to relax. I'm a top 2% earner. You know what I'm saying? I'm a top 2% earner. We got to pay the bills. Okay, you relax. But go ahead, Bo. I'm sorry, Bo.
No, it's good. It's there's some scary points, but it's not. It's it's always, I was afraid to do it at first, and afterwards I can't even fathom explaining it to anybody. Like they'd just have to go through it. So
Yeah, well, no, it's
Robert's
interesting to me
funny.
though, because it's interesting to me though, because I see I saw there's several players, not just your brother and what's the quarterback now? I don't even want to Rodgers. It's
Yeah.
not just the two of them. Like it's a lot of people talking about it, and so I'm actually, I'm curious about it. But I'm joking. I'm not going to go. Like I'm scared to do anything stronger than weed. Like literally, I had my cousin. He's like, "Yo, we got to try shrooms." Or you try shrooms and I watch. Like I'm cool, bro. Like I don't need to try none of that shit. We good.
I mean, I get it, and if you like, but I would look up on like watch some stories on YouTube so that you can get a feel for what it does. I would never tell anybody to do it or not to do it, but like I would actually look at like me telling you is not going to do it as much justice.
It sounds like an endorsement, bro. I'm gonna just let you know. It sounds like an endorsement of mushrooms. You endorsing shrooms?
No, I'm not talking about shrooms.
Oh.
I'm talking about ayahuasca. I would
Ayahuasca. Is that ayahuasca?
ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Ayahuasca.
I would, if I was you, look it up. I would never, like I said, I would never tell anybody to or not to do it. I think it's to each their own with that.
All right. Well, look, we hit an hour and a half. We can. I feel like folk getting tired of us. Y'all ready to get out of here? I can talk to y'all all night. I really love this. I miss the three of us talking. So like I could talk to y'all all night, but I know a lot of folk probably we had an hour and a half. What y'all want to do? Y'all want to keep pushing? Y'all tired?
Hey,
y'all got shit to do?
It's all good. Whatever.
Where you at, Po?
I'm up for whatever. It's up to you.
Yo, let me ask you a question real quick. Why your brother won't jump on here and I don't mean that literally as a fan. I'm saying like, you know what I mean? What's up? What's up?
What do you mean?
You tell Jordan. Matter of fact, I'm gonna text him. Never mind.
Yeah, until the end of the season, it's F all that. Man, I don't
No, I haven't. No, I haven't actually. To be honest with you, so and this is the truth. I haven't reached out to your brother because I respect that he's working, and also it's different. When he was in Buffalo, a lot of the conversations we had obviously were about the Bills and about Buffalo and what was going on. I don't want to seem like I'm pressing for different things, so I leave him alone. You know what I mean? But no, I know your brother. And you know, your brother is one of my favorite people. Like the conversations and the time that we've spent and had, like, no, Jordan. Yeah, after he retires, I'm gonna hit him up.
Yeah.
But I ain't hitting him up right now.
He got a lot to say after he retires. Can't wait for it. I want him to play as long as he can, but after he retires, I can't.
But when he retires, tell him to do that on code of conduct. I need that for the code of conduct. Yeah, we need.
I don't know if you want it for that.
No, I do. No, I do. I want when I would tell you, I want everything. I want everything. Because
Jordan wants to talk about the Anunnaki.
Yeah, but you know what? But I feel like from his time in Buffalo, I feel like there's a lot of things that went unspoken or unsaid about him and Micah's value to the team. And I feel like I get it now. I won't even lie to you on code of conduct or on Hump Day. We talked about like PFF has him ranked, I think like 77th out of 79 or something like that. So we talked about it, and I'm like, yo, that's rough. He looks bad right now. I'm not, obviously, I love Jordan. I'm not dissing him. If they're ranking him 77 out of 79, there's a reason. I am concerned. And when I say concerned, I feel like I don't think it's health. Now, I know he just got injured with the shin. Before the shin injury, I don't think it's health. I don't think the fit is right.
Defense is ranked. No, it's not the fit. That entire defensive individuals are all ranked lower than how good they are because the defense is on the field quite a long time, and it's just a tough situation to be in. But I will say that Jordan, as far as PFF grades, they've never favored what Jordan does because 90% of what Jordan does for that football team happens before the snap, and so. Like as far as everything that he did for Buffalo, he's doing for Miami. He's calling, he's getting the lineup, or he's lining everybody up correctly. He's getting the defensive coverage in. If anything changes, he's giving that to them. And I will say Jordan makes plays, and that's what but he can't make plays if they're running the ball and then we're not stopping the run. And then his whole play has come from passing downs. And so as far as that point of it, PFF's not going to grade him high because they haven't been in situations where they have to throw the football.
You know what I think is different? He had more talent on the Bills defense.
No, definitely not.
No, that was just a jab at what you said earlier.
No,
Like,
most definitely. Yeah, but I'm saying I
No.
was agreeing. I see it. Most definitely not.
It was
Most-
though. Like I know you want to discount it, and then we can move on. Like we can get off here. But I mean, like I know you want to discount it, but I'm telling you, I don't think he'll play with a better safety than he did with Micah. I understand. Like I get it. People, you will say by name and on paper. I don't think as a unit, like a collective unit, I don't think the 2021 Buffalo Bills are lower than the 2024 Dolphins on paper. Like I'm saying, fully healthy
On paper?
on paper.
On
I think
paper,
the 2021. I'm telling you right
No.
now, the 2021 Bills should have won a Super Bowl.
I love Micah. Javon Holland is like, as far as individual talent, now Jordan's cohesion with Micah can't be duplicated. So like that.
But you're
that's
talking
kinda,
now. I'm saying like when I talk about Micah, I'm talking about Micah. I don't mean this year yet or last year. Was it
Micah's
last year?
best. Javon, as far as his talent,
Bro.
Javon is definitely like Jalen is definitely, as far as just talent goes. Like I'm like I said, the cohesion makes them look better than what it is, or make you look worse than what it is. But as far as talent goes, it's really hard. Like, don't get me wrong, I love that Milano, Micah. I love that defense. I was a big fan of it. I love the way that they played for each other, played with each other, and them playing for each other makes them better than what they are. There's no way. There's no, as far as individual talent, I just can't see it.
I'm gonna just tell you what I feel, and I'm your friend, so I'm gonna say this as a brother. I feel like you just gonna support your brother. Like y'all could be playing for the Texans, or y'all could be playing for Cleveland right now. You'd be like, "Yo, Deshaun Watson is the 5th best quarterback in the league." He's not. He's trash. I just think. Well, no, but I think wherever your brother goes, and
Jordan was on both those teams, so I have
when Deshaun
no
was there.
bias.
No, when Deshaun was there, he was trash.
No, I'm talking about Bills 2021, Miami 2024.
Okay.
Jordan was on both those teams. I have no bias in that situation. I truly feel like, as far as just talent goes, that the defense on this Dolphins team is much better at the top. Now, as far as depth, you could argue that. You could argue depth is way better in Buffalo.
Well, I said from the beginning, I said top to bottom, so that includes depth.
Depth you could argue is better, absolutely.
So I think that 2021 possibly, depending on how you want to talk about it, the 2020 season as well, like the year that Josh kind of surprised everybody. I think those 2 years, really the 2021 though, because I know Steph had like an oblique injury, and I think Cole had a knee or a leg break or something, like a fracture. But I think those two teams, 2021 for sure, I think talent wise, that was our year. We should have won. And I think your brother said we were golfing out here in Tucson, and he said it. He was like, "Man, that was our year."
They were top 5. Yeah, they were top 5 defense in the league that year. They, as far as a defensive
I think
unit,
there were 4
that's
that year.
the
Yeah,
best
there were 4
defensive unit that Jordan's ever. And again, Tiffany, I get it. There's no hate. It's not hate. Jordan's not hating on Buffalo, but there are some shit about Buffalo that we could absolutely say that we don't. But we'll just put that to the side. But I'm saying, as far as just individual skills, if I was to look at the individual skill of players, as far as a team, that Buffalo team was way better. It has nothing to do with what I'm saying.
But no, let me real quick, because first of all, I love Tiffany. I don't want people but let me just say, Tiffany, like Jordan, and I know this because Jordan's my friend. Jeremy knows this because Jordan's his brother. Like I'm not saying this because I'm taking up for him. I promise you I'm not. He's a Dolphins fan. So or he's a Dolphins player. I just said I don't talk to him right now because screw Dolphins. You know what I mean? Forget the Miami Dolphins. He does not hate Buffalo. He don't hate on Buffalo. He loves the guys that he played with. He loves the city. They lived there for 8 years, 7 years. He loves Buffalo. Buffalo did not want Poyer. Poyer didn't choose to leave Buffalo. I just want to say, Jordan did not want to leave Buffalo. Buffalo chose not to keep Jordan. So Jordan's not hating on Buffalo if he says, "Man, they ain't want me. Man, they ain't this. Man, they ain't that." Okay, she's saying, no. I'm saying people give hate to Jordan. I got you, Tiffany.
I was to her point. It wasn't towards Tiffany.
Yeah.
It was to her
okay,
point.
No, I got you. Well, I apologize. I read it wrong. I took what you said, and so I apologize, Tiffany. I want to apologize directly, but I'm just saying, Jordan, he don't have no ill will in his heart for Buffalo. Like, Jordan loves Buffalo. Rachel loves Buffalo. I know a lot of people dislike Rachel for her political takes and texts and tweets and all that stuff. Outside of whatever you feel about how she chooses to vote, Rachel ain't really mess with y'all, man. Like, y'all got to leave this family alone. They just want to live in Florida, play football, and have fun. Do I hate the fact that he's in Miami? Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. Like, I hate it. Like, I think, Jeremy, I love you, man. No Diddy, I love you, and I love Jordan, and I don't think that I've like met a family like yours that I've really felt loved by and embraced by quite like yours. So when I'm saying I love y'all, I mean it. But yo, fuck this year, man. I hate the fact that he in Miami. I hate that he's wearing teal and orange. Like, yo, y'all some feds right now, and I don't like that.
So, I don't know what to tell you. His fins up, maybe. I don't know.
He's in his fins up.
Hey, you notice he ain't coming here wearing no Dolphins gear. You know,
Yeah,
he's got
last
that
week
Bills
he did.
I just got
He
off of
caught
work.
that-
Anything that I wear blue, wear during work when I'm hating life. I wear that.
No,
blue
you
shit.
caught that L.
Hey.
You caught that L. That's all it was.
No,
Sarah
no,
said
no.
she loves and miss Papa Poe. Yeah, tell your father, man. Real talk. Tell your father that we miss him. He's one of the, like, your father's one of the best, man.
Yeah,
He's
cool
one
people,
of the best.
man.
There you go.
So, Steros, you got anything before we get out of here? Close
No,
statement?
man. Hey, dog, this has been a fun conversation, man. We got to do more like this.
That was fun.
Yeah, well, this is what the chop up is going to be. I know I mean, actually, be doing pretty good numbers right now, but I know we're going to probably lose some followers and lose some listeners and whatever because of us being honest about how we feel about certain things. But what I will tell you is, I think these type of conversations are necessary to show that we can disagree, but also still love each other. And then I also think that it's important to, like, so when I was a part of Buffalo Rumblings, so now everybody knows we're not Buffalo Rumblings. This is Rumblings Network. It's a little different. I don't write for them. I don't do pods for Buffalo Rumblings. None of that. SB Nation, Vox, we gone. So a big difference is that we have filters, and there were things that we probably could and could not talk about. Now I can talk about everything, and I can clap back. So for those on Twitter that think the shit is sweet, your boy is out here. I'm a free agent. I'm gonna pop my shit. Okay. But I'm saying all that to say we can love each other. We disagree and we agree to disagree. But at the end of the day, when our bro Poe is in Phoenix, I'm inviting him to the crib. When I'm in Miami, he's inviting me to the crib because we family like that. So I just want y'all to know we love y'all, man. And Matt says Buffalo Rumblings still support y'all though. Not if y'all accusing me of plagiarism. But that's not you, Matt.
Hold on. Somebody from Buffalo.
That's not you, Matt. Yo, Buffalo
What?
Rumblings, man, they straight up shit on me, and I'm being honest. And this is what I'm saying. This chop up.
Yeah.
I'm talking. Buffalo Rumblings, after 4 years, 5 years with them, man, I invested money into the podcast network. I done did all this shit for them. These motherfuckers hit me up the other day like, yo, you plagiarizing. What are you talking about?
Somebody.
Yeah.
I don't
Y'all
know.
very much. So that's what when y'all go and y'all look on the website, if you don't see a Spence open them odds article, or y'all don't see, it's because Buffalo Rumblings fucked it up. So I'm gonna just let y'all know. I'm not.
Is this
I'm no
under
longer a
Rumblings?
part of- No, Rumblings Network is separate from Buffalo Rumblings.
Right.
I'm talking about shit.
Well,
So
there was
it is
somebody
this-
from Rumblings that said that they took the
No,
ball.
Matt. No,
I'm
Matt.
pretty
Matt Bynum is the editor in chief of Buffalo. I love Matt. It's not him. What I'm saying is, I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Hell
listen, I'm free, bro. Like, my clapbacks on Twitter it feels good. Me being able to speak like this, it feels good. Y'all can listen. You know what I mean? Hey, Steros, you gave. Hey, Poe, you got anything before we get out of here?
Hell no.
He said,
Hell no.
hell
Follow
no.
me on Twitter at JPO_NA.
All right. Well, listen, I love y'all. I love Matt. Matt, I love you, man. It's not you. It's SB Nation and Buffalo Rumblings. But we out of here. Come see us next week. Go ahead and download that. Tell folks to download it. Jump on the podcast. And hey, take care of each other. Love each other and live in peace. And as always, stay positive. Test negative. Go Bills.
Bill.
I can do